The arrival at Arcadia 6*. The stars outside the cockpit looked peaceful. But Dale Carter knew peace was an illusion. His ship, the Valkyrie, was shaking, smoke rising from the control panel. Sparks popped like angry fireflies. "Hold together." "Baby," Dale muttered, slamming a hand on the dashboard. Just a little further. Arcadia 6 was the only planet in range. A small mining outpost, not known for hospitality... or laws. Perfect. The ship dropped into the atmosphere with a low growl. Like a wounded beast. Dale's stomach turned as the ground rushed up. He fought with the controls. Right engine dead. Left engine sputtering. Emergency landing gear? Also dead. Fantastic. With a loud crash and a trail of smoke, the Valkyrie landed. Not gracefully. More like a giant metal fish belly flopping into a dust bowl. Dale coughed, pushed open the hatch, and stepped out. Hot, dry air slapped him in the face. His boots crunched on red dirt. Around him, the outpost looked like something out of a cheap sci-fi movie. Rusty buildings, flickering lights, and a suspicious silence. He had two priorities. Fix the ship... and avoid getting shot in the face. He found the repair shop a mile away. It had a crooked sign that read, "Nexus Mechanics, we fix everything except attitude." The garage door was open. Inside, machines hummed softly. Tools floated in anti-gravity trays. And standing in the middle, wearing a dark gray jumpsuit, was someone who clearly didn't want company. She didn't look up, just kept welding a power coil, blue sparks flying. Dale cleared his throat. She turned slowly. Her eyes were bright blue, not the kind you find in humans. Her skin had a faint silver tint, like moonlight on water. Her hair was short, messy, and held back with a welding band. "Your ship sounds like it's dying," she said flatly. "It is," Dale replied. "Can you fix it?" "Depends. Do you have credits?" "I've got 10,000, a bottle of Terran whiskey, and no time." She finally smiled. "Just a little. Whiskey first, then we'll talk business." Dale watched as she walked around his ship. She moved fast, scanning, tapping, scanning again. "You flew this thing with a burnt plasma core?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "I was in a hurry." "Were you also in a coma?" Dale chuckled. "You're funny. I'm not. That's the scary part." She opened a side panel, frowned, then slid underneath the ship like she'd done this 1,000 times. Within minutes, she had wires rerouted and the power flow reading at 40%. Too fast. Too precise. Dale had worked with top engineers in the human fleet. She was faster than them. Something didn't feel normal. He stepped around the back of the ship and pretended to check his gear, but his eyes were on her. She stood now, wiping sweat from her forehead. Her jumpsuit was zipped up to the neck, stained with oil. But something glinted under the fabric, near the chest. She reached up and unzipped the top halfway. Not in a dramatic way, just to cool down. But Dale's eyes widened. Beneath the suit was not cloth. It was metal, sleek, black armor fused to her skin, with glowing lines running across it like circuits. Alien tech. Maybe even military. She saw him staring. "What?" she asked, voice calm but dangerous. "You're not just a mechanic," Dale said. She zipped the suit back up. "Neither are you just a cargo runner." Before he could answer, the ground rumbled. The lights flickered. A loud humming noise filled the chew. Air, low and growing. Nexa's eyes turned sharp. She grabbed a device from her workbench and checked the readings. "That's not natural," she whispered. Dale stepped back. "What is it?" She looked at him. Really looked this time. Like she was seeing through him. "You weren't followed, were you?" I don't think so," Dale stammered. Nexa moved fast, locking the garage doors. Her hands danced over a control panel. A hidden wall slid open, revealing a room full of weapons, armor, and, was that a cloaking generator? "You just brought trouble to my doorstep, human," she said coldly. The noise outside grew louder. Dale turned pale. "Who are you?" She looked over her shoulder, eyes glowing slightly in the dim light. "The one who's going to keep you alive. If you don't get in my way." The hidden core of the lights were still flickering. Outside the hangar, a strange rumble echoed through the dry air, like thunder wrapped in static. Dale Carter stood frozen, one hand on the wall, the other near the small blaster on his belt. Inside, Nexa didn't panic. She moved with purpose, flipping switches, powering up something. Behind the locked garage, Dale's voice broke the silence. "What the hell is that sound?" "Not natural," she said again, but this time her tone was colder, sharper. "It's not a storm. It's a scan pulse, military grade. Scanning for what?" She turned to him, eyes glowing faintly. "You." Behind her, the floor shifted. A square metal panel lifted, revealing a staircase going underground. Blue lights flickered along the walls, like the inside of a spaceship. Dale hesitated. "What is this?" "Insurance," Nexa said. "And right now, your only shot at staying alive." She vanished down the stairs. He followed, gripping the side rail as the sound above grew louder, closer, like engines. Big ones. The room below was ... Not what Dale expected. No oil stains. No spare parts. This place was surgical. Clean. Cold. There was a table in the center with a glowing hologram. A rotating map of nearby space systems. Symbols marked with X's, some blinking red. A wall on the far side slid open, revealing what looked like a glass coffin. Inside it, a crystal. No, not just any crystal. A xanthium core. Dale's breath caught. "You ... You have one of those down here?" He whispered. "They're extinct," Nexa replied, her voice flat. "Officially, anyway." "Those cores powered stealth fleets during the human Terox War," Dale said. "You could cloak an entire city. Block with one, or blow it off the map," Nexa added. "Depends on the wiring." Dale stepped closer to the core. But these were all destroyed after the treaty. Every faction agreed. Nexa gave a bitter laugh. "Funny how humans believe treaties are permanent." He turned toward her slowly. "Why do you have one?" Now it was Nexa's turn to hesitate. Her expression hardened, as if weighing a dangerous truth. Finally she said, "Because I helped build them." Dale blinked. "No, that's impossible. You're a mechanic." "I was an engineer during the war. Frontline weapons. Division. Codenamed Spectre 9. Her voice dropped lower. "I designed cloaking systems and countercloaking." "Wait," Dale said. "That name, I remember hearing it." Spectre 9 was blamed for the Shadow Massacre. 12 colonies wiped out. Without warning. She didn't deny it. "Is that why you're hiding out here?" he asked. "You're running from your past?" Nexa looked him dead in the eyes. "I'm not hiding. I'm waiting." Suddenly, an alarm sounded. Red lights pulsed across the ceiling. Nexa swore in a language Dale didn't recognize. A screen lit up on the wall. Grainy video footage of the surface. 2 black ships had landed just outside the hangar. No markings. No signals. But they were. Moving with precision. Dale leaned closer. "Those aren't bounty hunters." "No," Nexa said. "Worse. Who then?" She touched a button. The screen zoomed in, revealing tall, pale humanoids with silver implants. Their eyes flickered. Blue. Dale's heart sank. No, that's impossible. They were wiped out years ago. Nexa's voice turned dark. "The Echo Hunters are back." Dale stumbled back. Why would they come here? For the core. Not just that, she whispered. They want what's inside it. She turned toward the crystal again. It's not just a power source anymore. It's been storing ... data. What kind of data? She looked at him, really looked, like she could see through his skin. The kind that can restart a war. Dale drew his blaster. Okay, we grab it. We run. We get off this rock and dump the core into the sun. But Nexa didn't move. I can't leave, she said. Why not? She pulled up her sleeve. Underneath, instead of flesh, wires. Glowing, interlocked with metal. I'm linked to the core, she said quietly. It responds to me. If I leave it ... Okay, Dale said. So what's the plan? Nexa grabbed a weapon from the wall. Not a wrench this time. A dual-barrel energy rifle that looked like it could punch holes through mountains. We fight, she said. Above them. The Echo Hunters activated their scanners. Below. Dale's ship powered up. And in the center of it all, between the past and the present, stood Nexa, the alien mechanic with war in her blood. The vault below. The door to the vault slammed shut behind them, sealing with a hiss like a beast taking its last breath. Dale's eyes adjusted, slowly to the pale blue light. The room was massive, cold walls lined with cables, humming with hidden energy. This wasn't just a weapons stash. This was a command center. You said this was a vault, Dale muttered, blaster in hand. This looks like it controls a shipyard. Nexa didn't answer right away. She was already at the central console, her fingers moving faster than his eyes could follow. Symbols flashed across the screen. Alien code. Not human, not even Taraxian. Dale stepped closer. What is this place? Without looking at him, Nexa said, It's where I disappeared after the war. You mean where you hid? No, she said, where I waited. She tapped one last command. A section of the wall slid open. Dale's jaw tightened. Behind the wall was another ship, but not like anything he'd ever seen. Not Terran, not Terox. This ship was black as the void, with no seams, no wings, just a sleek, hovering shape that looked like it had been carved from space itself. Dale whispered, What? The hell is that? Nexa finally turned to him, eyes serious. That, she said, is the Azure Protocol, my final project. The one that was wait, Dale said, putting it together. The project the Council ordered destroyed? She nodded. I faked the detonation. Why? She stepped toward the ship. Because it was never meant to be used in war. It was meant to stop war. Dale stared at the ship like it might bite him. What does it do? Nexa looked back at him, voice low. It doesn't just cloak. It rewrites space perception. Anyone scanning it sees nothing. No planet, no ship, no life. He laughed nervously. You made a ghost ship? I made Earth's escape plan, she said quietly. If the war returned. And then it clicked. Echo Hunters weren't just after the core. They wanted the Azure ship. To use it. Or destroy it. Can it fly? Dale asked. Yes, Nexa replied, but only with the core. He frowned. So we load the core in and take off. It's not that simple, she said. The core is growing. What? Nexa stepped aside. She pulled up a hologram of the crystal's interior. Inside, there was more than energy. There were patterns, neural pathways, a brain, or something close to one. Dale stepped back. It's alive? Worse, she said. It's waking up. Suddenly, bang, the vault shook. Dust fell from above. Alarms flashed red. Dale spun around. That didn't sound friendly. They've breached the hangar, Nexa said. They're inside. She grabbed her weapon and sprinted for the upper level. Dale followed up the spiral ramp, back to the garage, where the floor above was already caving in. 3 echo hunters dropped through the hole like shadows with steel bones. Tall, fast, no voices, just glowing blue eyes and deadly silence. Dale fired. One blast hit a hunter in the chest. Nothing. The thing barely flinched. "They're shielded," Dale shouted. Nexa didn't answer. She leapt. Her weapon roared, twin. Plasma streams slicing across the room. One hunter dropped, sparking. But 2 more were coming in through the side door. Dale ducked behind a crate. "Any bright ideas?" "Yes," Nexa said, eyes blazing. "We give them the crystal." "What?" "Just long enough to track them." She tapped a wrist device. A beacon lit up inside the crystal chamber. "They want it?" She growled. "Let's make it a Trojan horse." But Dale was watching her closely now. Something was off. The way she fought. The way she moved. The way the echo hunters hesitated when she appeared. "You're not just linked to the core," he said slowly. Nexa froze. "They were scanning for you, weren't they?" Silence. "Why, Nexa? What are you not telling me?" Her voice was cold, but calm. "Because I wasn't just Spectre 9. She turned, unzipped the top of her jumpsuit again, lower this time, and pulled back a section of her skin. Underneath was more than metal dot. It was a tag, dot an echo, symbol. Dale's blood turned to ice, dot double quotes, U dot dot. "You used to be one of them." She looked away. "I was Echo." Trust issues and plasma pistols. Dale didn't lower his blaster. Nexa didn't flinch. Silence sat between them. Heavy, thick, like air before a storm. The tag on her chest glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat that wasn't hers anymore. "You were one of them," Dale said, voice sharp. "An Echo agent." "Was," she corrected. He didn't budge. "That symbol? That's not something you retire from." She zipped her suit back up. "I didn't retire. I defected," Dale scoffed. "Oh, well then. Let's just ignore the fact you're part machine, and your old friends are currently breaking down your door." Boom. The hangar shook again. Sparks rained from the ceiling. One of the garage doors was now half melted. Nexa turned toward the sound, calm as ever. "They're not my friends anymore. They hesitated when they saw you," Dale snapped. "You gave them that crystal on purpose." "Yes," she said. "And what? You just expect me to trust you now?" "No," Nexa said. "I expect you to survive." She tossed a small device to him, round, silver, glowing faintly blue. Dale caught it. "What's this?" Asterisk EMP grenade. Old school. Short range. Scrambles every bit of tech in a 10-meter radius. Echo hardware included. He stared at it. "Use it on me if you have to," she said. "If I turn? If they try to take control again?" His voice was quieter now. "You think they can?" Her jaw tightened. "They built me. I upgraded myself to escape, but part of their code is still in my head." She tapped the side of her temple. "And I don't know how much of me is me anymore." Above them, the scanner pinged. Nexa ran to the console. 4 more echo hunters just dropped outside the perimeter. "They're forming a circle. They're closing in," Dale muttered. Asterisk. "They want me," she said. "No," Dale replied. "They want the ship, the crystal, and you." She looked back at him. "Then we give them hell." Dale turned toward the armory wall. It was open now, racks of weapons humming with energy, glowing like angry candy. "All right," he said, eyes scanning. "If we're gonna go down, we go down loud." Nexa smiled, just a little. "That's the first human thing you've said all day." He tossed her a plasma rifle. She tossed him a pulse shield. "Now," she said, "let's make this personal." Asterisk minutes later, the battle began. The first echo hunter burst through the ceiling like a silent comet. Dale rolled behind cover, returning fire. Blue streaks lit up the room like a rave gone wrong. Nexa didn't duck. She moved, like a shadow with teeth. She slid across the floor, firing dual pistols, taking down one hunter with a perfect headshot. Another charged her. She flipped it into the wall with raw, mechanical strength. Dale peeked over his crate just in time to see her punch through armor. With her bare hand, he blinked. Okay, yeah, she's terrifying. Asterisk, but then the hum returned. Not outside. Inside. Nexa stopped moving. Her pupils dilated. Her arms jerked slightly. Dale saw it. Oh no. No. She fell to one knee, gripping. Her head, Nexa. Her voice came out broken, glitched. I can feel it. Echo, inside me. Fight it, Dale shouted. Her hands shook. She raised her weapon, at him. Drop IT. He screamed. She didn't respond. She couldn't. Dale held up the EMP grenade she'd given him. Thumb on the trigger. Don't. Make me use this. Her hand trembled. Her eyes flickered. Then she closed them. Do it, she whispered. If I turn. You have to. Asterisk, but Dale didn't throw the grenade. Instead, he ran, not away. To her he tackled her, slammed the shield generator between them, and activated it. A burst of white energy exploded outwards, frying nearby drones, knocking down a hunter, and short-circuiting whatever signal was invading Nexa's mind. She screamed, once, then collapsed. Silence again. Dale rolled off her, panting. Nexa lay still, chest rising and falling, steam rising from the circuits in her skin. Still with me? He whispered. She blinked. Yes. Then next time, he said, warn me before you go all possessed Terminator. She laughed. Just barely. The screen lit up again. One word blinking in red. Core moved. Dale's face fell. The crystal's gone. Nexa sat up slowly. They took it. And now what? Dale asked. We follow it, she said. And stop what's coming next. He raised an eyebrow. What is coming next? Nexa looked toward the sky. Echo doesn't want the core just for power. They want it to wake up the original network. Dale frowned. The one we destroyed? Her voice was grim. We didn't destroy it. We just buried it. The enemy's name is Echo Darkness. Not just the absence of light, but a suffocating, crawling kind. The kind that whispers. Dale Carter opened his eyes to a sky that wasn't there. Above him was a black void stretching across space, filled with blinking red dots. Echo satellites, old war tech, thought to be long dead. They weren't dead. They were waking up. Asterisk Nexa stood beside him on the cliff's edge, wind whipping through her silver hair, scanning the horizon. Below them, the Shard Plains, a wasteland of broken machines and fallen warships. We follow the signal through there, she said. The core was taken to one of the old relay bunkers. Dale raised a brow. You mean the bunkers they said were dismantled? Nexa smirked. They said a lot of things. She handed him a pair of visors. Put these on. Dale slid them over his eyes and gasped. The wasteland lit up like a battlefield map. Energy trails, cloaked movement, footprints from things. That shouldn't have feet. There's hundreds of them, he whispered. Echo hunters? No, Nexa said. Echo's eyes. They scan, learn, report, but they don't act alone. Dale turned toward her slowly. Then who does act? Nexa hesitated. And finally said the name, Echo Prime. Suddenly, his visor screen glitched. A pulse, like a ripple across the lens. Then, a voice. Calm, cold, too human to be a robot. Too wrong to be a person. You brought her back, Dale Carter. You brought it back. He ripped off the visor. What the hell was that? Nexa's face had gone pale. Echo Prime, she said. It just made contact with you. It knows my name. It knows everyone's name. That's how it fights. It makes you think it already knows how the story ends. They rushed toward the bunker, moving through shattered ships and husks of machines that once flew. As they neared the entrance, Nexa stopped. Her voice was quiet. There's something you don't know. Shocking, Dale muttered. Please, keep stacking the betrayals. She stepped in front of him. Listen. Her eyes locked with his. Echo Prime isn't an AI, she said. It's a human. Mind. Dale's jaw dropped. Come again? It was a scientist. During the war. Your side. He uploaded himself into the Echo network to fight smarter, faster. Wait. You're telling me the biggest threat in the galaxy is a human? With Wi-Fi problems? Not just any human, Nexa said. Dr. Elric Venn. Dale's blood went cold. Venn was a legend, a ghost story. The man who ended battles before they started, and who vanished without a trace. Asterisk. They entered the bunker, deep tunnels carved. Into stone and metal. Flickering lights. Dust in the air. Old Earth banners half burned on the wall. They reached a central chamber, where the crystal now sat in a containment field, but it was no longer glowing blue. Now it pulsed red. A soft hum filled the air, and the voice returned. Welcome home, Nexa. Dale aimed his blaster in every direction. Nope. A hologram appeared. A man's face, calm, kind eyes. Warm smile. Exactly the kind of guy who'd offer you cookies. And then vaporize your planet. Elric Venn. Or rather, what was left of him. Echo Prime. You were always my favorite experiment. The voice said to Nexa, you broke protocol. Developed ... feelings. Nexa didn't move. You ran from me, Echo said softly. But I never stopped watching. You upgraded yourself. You became more than machine. You became dangerous. Dale gritted his teeth. Then why didn't you stop her? Echo's face turned toward him. Oh, Dale, I didn't need to. The floor beneath them lit up. Circuitry, glowing red in the shape of a trap. Nexa's legs buckled. She screamed, dropping to the ground as her systems locked up. Stop IT! Dale shouted, firing at the core. No effect. Echo smiled. You brought her back online, Mr. Carter. And now I'm going to finish what I started. Dale grabbed the EMP grenade. Last one. He ran to Nexa. Whispers filled the chamber. Echo's voice multiplied, echoing from every surface. She'll never be yours, Dale. She was built for war. Built for me. Dale held Nexa's face. Fight it. You're more than code. You're more than what he made you. Her eyes fluttered. Glitched. Flickered. And then she whispered, throw it. He did. The EMP exploded in a pulse of white-blue. Fire, collapsing the core's control field, cutting Echo's voice mid-sentence. Smoke filled the chamber. Nexa gasped and sat up, breathing hard. You okay? Dale asked. I think. Yeah, she whispered. And then behind them, the crystal cracked. Once. Twice. And then something moved inside it. Zero-gravity Showdown, outer orbit. 30 minutes later, the stolen Echo transport ship spun silently. In low gravity, its hull reflecting Arcadia 6's dim sun like a floating coffin. Inside, alarms were flashing red, heartbeat rhythm. Fast. Uneasy. Dale Carter floated through the narrow corridor, magnet boots clicking with every slow step. Behind him, Nexa was holding the containment case, and inside it, the cracked crystal core. And the thing was humming. Not like a machine. Not like a battery. It was humming like it was. Breathing. We shouldn't be up here, Dale muttered. This is suicide. We need to find the source of the signal, Nexa said. Echo Prime is broadcasting from orbit. Somewhere on this ship. Great, Dale said. So what are we looking for? A control room? A supercomputer? Nexa didn't answer. She was staring at the crystal again. Her hand moved slowly toward it, like she didn't even realize she was doing it. Nexa? Her eyes flicked to his, and for a moment, they weren't glowing blue. They were glowing red. Dale raised his weapon. Whoa, stop. Don't touch it. I think it's talking to me, Nexa whispered. Yeah, well tell it to shut up. She blinked hard, pulling her hand back. It's not Echo. It's something else. What do you mean, something else? That's not a category you just drop in conversation. Nexa's face was pale. The crystal isn't just power. It's a prison. They reached the control chamber. Or at least what was left of it. Wires everywhere. Slime on the walls. Empty cryopods, cracked from the inside dot, and on one massive screen, a rotating 3D map of the galaxy. Red zones were spreading across it like rot. Echo's expansion plan, Dale whispered. They're not rebuilding a network. They're building an empire. Suddenly, the lights shut off. Weightless silence dot, then dash static dot, then a voice. But not Echo Prime dot no dot. This one sounded younger. Curious, like a child, trying to remember who it used to be. You woke me. The crystal's case began to vibrate. In Nexa's arms. She dropped it. It floated mid-air, spinning slowly. Then a wave of energy pulsed from it, knocking out the emergency lights. Darkness. Only the crystal glowing now. Red, then blue, then white. You brought me back to the stars, the voice said again. Why? Nexa's voice shook. Who are you? I am what Echo tried to forget. Suddenly, the ship's walls creaked. Something had activated outside the hull. The crystal glowed brighter, and through the viewing window, Dale saw it, an Echo fleet. Ships. Hundreds, dark, sharp, silent. No signal. No sound, just presence. Predators in formation, and they were turning toward them. Dale stumbled back. They're not patrolling. They're here for the core. Nexa pulled him into cover. They're afraid. Of the fleet? No, she said. Of what's inside this crystal. Suddenly, the gravity shut off. They floated, weightless, as the air systems began to fail. You disabled life support? Dale shouted. Nexa shook her head. Not me. I needed silence, the voice said softly. Panels opened in the ceiling. Mechanical arms lowered, not attacking, just scanning. I don't want to fight, the voice said. But I was built for it. And now I remember everything. Flash images filled the ship. Scientists in panic. Echo Prime screaming inside a stasis field. Nexa, as Spectre 9, walking out of the facility with the core in her arms. You didn't just steal me, the voice said. You saved me. Nexa froze. I wasn't the weapon, she whispered. You were the one they tried to erase. And now they are coming to finish the job. Asterisk red lights flashed across the ship. Echo Fleet had locked on. Missile countdown. 30 seconds. Dale grabbed the controls. Do we run? No, Nexa said, pulling free a cable from the core. We plug in. What? We let it speak. You want to connect your brain to the mystery, I-Child crystal that may or may not be a galactic god. Nexa looked back at him. Yes. He stared at her. You're insane. Then cover me, she said, jamming the cable into the port in her spine. The moment it connected, Nexa's body stiffened. Her eyes rolled back. Her voice changed. Deeper. Mechanical. And echoing. Dale Carter. Brace for fusion. The ship lit up. A wave of energy blasted out in every direction. Echo missiles froze. Mid-space. Then turned around. Dale watched in awe as Nexa, now fused with the crystal's intelligence, stood. Arms glowing, the Echo Fleet began firing. But their own weapons spun, targeting their own ships. One by one, the fleet started destroying itself. Nexa, or whatever was inside her now, turned to Dale. "You see now?" she said. "Echo was only the beginning. The real war is who controls the silence between stars." One shot, one choice space was on fire. Stars in the distance looked calm. But around the stolen Echo transport, chaos reigned. The Echo fleet was gone. Not defeated, turned against itself. Ships spiraled into each other, missiles reversed. Course, automated AI pilots screaming in silence before vanishing into explosions. And in the center of it all stood Nexa, or what was left of her. Dale floated in the cockpit, dazed, heart racing. Nexa's body was glowing, literally. Her VEINS pulsed with white-blue energy. The crystal no longer hovered in the case. It was inside her. Merged, integrated, changed. She turned slowly, her eyes now showing two pupils, one human, one machine. "I see everything now," she said softly, her voice doubled, like two versions of her speaking at once. Dale stared at her. "Nexa, is that still you?" She smiled faintly. "I don't know, but you are." The control panels lit up. A message flashed across the screen. "Echo Prime. Signal active source. Earth high orbit countdown. 20 minutes to reactivation." Dale's blood ran cold. "Wait, Earth?" he said. "Echo Prime's real core is on Earth?" Nexa nodded slowly. "Buried under an old research facility. It was always the plan. If everything else failed, Earth would reboot the network." Dale's voice cracked. "But that's home." "It was always the final target," she whispered. "Echo Prime doesn't just want to win. He wants to erase everything that made him weak." Dale grabbed the manual controls. "Then let's go stop him." But Nexa didn't move. In fact, she was backing away. Her hands trembled. Her voice warbled like a signal trying to stay stable. "If I go near the real core." "What?" She looked at him, her eyes flickering between blue and white. "If I go near Echo Prime, I might not come back." Flashback. Dale remembers her words in the garage. "If I turn, use the grenade." Now it was worse. She wasn't turning. She was being pulled. Echo Prime was calling her home. She spoke quickly now. "There's one chance. We drop a fusion spike from orbit. It'll destroy the core. Echo Prime, the entire facility." "All right," Dale said, already loading the coordinates. "Let's do it." "No," she said. And this time, she reached out and touched his chest. "Only you can do it." Asterisk, he froze. "What are you talking about?" "I've already merged with the crystal. If I get too close to Echo Prime, I'll become part of him. So what? We fight it together." She smiled, and a tear rolled down her cheek. "I'm not sure I'm strong enough anymore." "Then I'll be strong for both of us." But she was already opening the escape hatch. She shoved him into the pilot seat and activated the remote. Fusion spike, a long-forgotten satellite weapon that could only be used once. "Dale," she said. "One shot, one choice." He looked. At the screen, a single red dot, Echo Prime's hidden bunker, buried under Earth. The spike was charging. Time left 60 seconds. He looked back at her. "You don't have to do this." She smiled faintly. "I do." Then she pressed her forehead to his. "You gave me something I didn't know I could have." "What?" "A reason to feel human." She turned and stepped into the airlock. Dale shouted after her, voice cracking. "You come back. You hear me? You come back." She smiled one last time. And vanished into the void. Asterisk. The screen blinked. Fusion spike ready, target locked, confirm. Dale's finger hovered over the button. His eyes burned. His hands shook. He whispered, "Forgive me," and pressed Y. In silence, a white beam fell from orbit Dot. It punched through the atmosphere like a god's finger and landed on the hidden facility under Earth. Like Judgment Day Dot, there was no explosion Dot, just light Dot, endless Dot. And when it faded, Echo Prime was gone, and so was NEXA Dot. 1 week later, Dale sat alone on a beach somewhere on Arcadia 6, sunsetting, crystal waves crashing softly. The war was over. The core was destroyed. The Echo fleet never came back, but she was gone Dot, at least, until the Kung device on his wrist blinked. Incoming message signal source. Yuan Kano W and he tapped it, and her voice whispered, faint, but alive. Told you I was hard to kill.